Right, so this water pistol was a group chosen one for emphasising the challenges and the difficulties that you'll see throughout the obstacles of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next one. The Uzi. This is a bit more of a unique one chosen, just so it's just not like the usual assault rifle picks. Obviously, there's one there, two there actually, but you know, just a bit more of a variety of weapons to pick. But yeah, I think this one was probably particularly the best one that I've done out of all of them, just because of the sculpting and that and the time I put into this one a bit more than the others. But yeah, moving on to the M16.
Ooh.
This is where the yellow tape collection starts to come in. But yeah, there's this one with the drum mag, and then there's the other one with the normal magazine. This one took a lot longer to do. I think generally just based off the baking of it was such a struggle to do. Don't know whether it was because of how advanced the modelling of it was, but yeah, I think the M16 one was very good, saying the fact the challenges and the difficulties of it. But yeah.
That drum magazine though.
Yeah.
There's a little more.
More yellow tapes.
Check what it looks like with like this when you're looking down its sides. Ooh, clean, very clean.
Well, the magazines as well.
Yeah. Well done with that, Jack.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. There's your last one.
This was a very different one. No, I just wanted to offer more of a variety of weapons. So you have a scope, more of like scoping out the level and the missions within the scene. But yeah.
What was the yellow tape for?
Hmm?
What was the yellow tape for?
I think it was just to show off a unique asset collection. Obviously, most guns today in games look very similar in a way. I feel like if they have like sort of like a connection with each other, having like obviously showing the tapes off, will show sort of that like that branding and like design of the game itself.
Yeah.
I'd say it also fits in with the overall theming of the game being post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea of tape is banding jigget.
Raggedy.
Yeah,
Everything's
keeping it all
broken.
together.
And,
I
yeah.
think the intentions for the M16 were with the flashlights. There was meant to be like a directional like point light with it, just so it actually works when the character's walking around the scene and everything.
Yeah.
But
It's like-
overall, I think it worked out very well.
Worked out
yeah.
very well. The tape is a really good contrast to the actual model.
It
Yeah.
works really well on the flashlight, like
Yeah.
proper brings that like just about holding together type of thing.
There's your yellow tape collection.
Post-apocalyptic.
Anything you'd change about it?
I wish I had more time to do the sculpting on some of the weapons, more specifically the water pistol, the M16 and the assault rifle, and the Kakana rifle. But yeah, I think if I had more time to sculpt the more of the refined detail on it, I think overall it would have looked a lot better.
Cool.
But yeah.
Any other comments, people? Cool. Right, that's the yellow tape collection then by Jack Bowen. Lovely.
Yeah, you did do really well. You really made them really quick as well. Like you're very efficient on the modelling and like texturing it all. And I've got to say, personally as the world builder and that, I had no issues with them. Like getting them in engine, there was no issues, and I don't think you did either, really.
No.
Nah, so it's fine.
I also think it was very nice to have like a very distinct look to these sort of models.
Yeah.
So like you look at it and go, oh, that's from there, which is good. So well done.
Very well done.
So this is my character animated. It was rigged using Mixamo, just due to the amount of time we had left, really. And you can see these are some of the animations we would use in the game. So the push animation, if you'd like to go towards it. Follow when we push objects, or like so it helps us like create puzzles and things like that.
The feet are fine.
The feet are a bit.
They're fine. That's how it's meant to be, the animation.
Oh yeah. There's the running one, which obviously is the main animation for everybody. It's just walking around and have a little sprint. There's the climbing with the amazing ladder functions that are lovely. Lovely.
You know, his fingers just going.
It's nice.
Seeing crocodile.
And there's just the basic one of him holding it, shooting a gun. Pow pow. Are his legs like apart? Go the front of him.
Yeah.
Oof. His legs are a bit jagged.
Yeah, there's a little bit jaggedy on
That looks like his pockets to me.
Yeah,
that's his pockets.
That's his pockets right
Yeah,
there.
it's got a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, man.
all that ammo.
Yeah, so this is just mainly just a test to see how the animation would work when it's in game, because we didn't get to put him in just because of the amount of time really that we had, and we was just so busy. So this is just a nice little showcase of what it would look like. But yeah, that's basically it.
I think the pair looks really good.
Yeah.
Saying the struggles and that you had with it trying to set it up, I think it overall
Yeah.
the finishing product of it actually looks quite nice.
Yeah, I'm glad how the mod turned out.
The hair looks really good.
I do want to see it in the level when you show off the world and in its A pose or something. But I do think the texturing originally wasn't as detailed as I would have liked it, because I'm not that proficient in texturing it. But it worked really well with the sort of style we went for, and I think it suits it quite well with the colours and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Right, I think that'll be it.
Yes, that's everything for the overview of the weapons and the characters. What we'll do now is we'll literally go over the level.
You go over the level, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so here we have the main menu for Deadmare. The idea of this was that obviously the main centerpiece of this menu being what you can just faintly see the enemy AI trying to tap into that horror nature and theme overriding for the game. Obviously, we've also got some of the weapons there on the desk, and ultimately this whole level is made. This was just mainly to keep it nice and dark, matching to that tense element. We've also got the options over here for the menu itself. So we've also got the printed desktop. When we go on our options, we've got our setting changes that we can make. Our chapters. So how this was going to work is when you hover over it, you can click on which level you want to play as, and it gives you a brief picture and text description. And then also we've got the start game, so we'll head to that. So here we have the house level. This was the first beginning for the game. So how this was going to work is this would introduce the player to the narrative, where they'd wake up from their bed, have to move to the mirror, and from there they'd be able to gain their speed, hence why they walk so slow. This is purely just to move them up quicker. But yeah, this was meant to be a small, dense environment that just essentially is a bit of a tutorial before the player heads out into the main world. Obviously, we've got the textures here. This was designed by Ellis, going for that repeating tile, something that you'd find in homes during this setting. Really nice as well, the wallpaper feel to it. Obviously, you can very faintly see some repeating tiling textures down there. He's done a really good job with them. We've also got the prop manager in Kieran, who's been making some of the stuff like the lamp, the telephone, the desk, for instance, the mirrors, the bookshelves, and other stuff, to really give some life into the environments around us and just make a bit of a detail into it. Obviously, we've got the character here as well, so he's about the same height. This is what we would be using in the game, but this is also just to show what he's like in the environment itself. So how it would work, the player would walk into the bathroom mirror, they'd look into the mirror, they'd regain their speed. We've also got the TV here made by Jack. Really nice, well done, matches the setting of the game. We've also got the video footage playing there. So just some mechanics here. We've got the inspect item here, where admittedly he's zooming through the object right now, but essentially how this would work is the player would pick up and inspect an item. We've got the action figure here representing the character from the first iteration of the game, with a bit of text on the side. As you can see, it's not in its best state, but you can get the gist of it. You're able to zoom in and out with him using the mouse wheel, and you can give him a rotate as well. So we'll put that away. Oh, there he is again. See, that's much better now. So yeah, you could inspect that, and we could use this for multiple items, including some letters as well. So obviously we need to get out of the house, but we can't because the door is locked. So this is our second mechanic, the door unlocks. Obviously, as you can hear, we can't get out, but if we pick up our key, our placeholder key, and then we try it again, there we go. See, we can get out now. Just needed a bit of perhaps a bit more concentration on how we was going to implement this door mechanic into the actual level itself. But for the level design, obviously Logan was responsible for this, trying to create something that felt a bit more small, a bit run down to match the setting of New York, but also give the player enough mobility and a good sense of direction as to where they're actually going, since we don't have any HUDs littering the view of the player and keeping them distracted. You can also see we've got the health bar in the bottom left corner. How that would work is when the player takes damage, unlike a simple health bar, it'll go down in its damage, but it'll also show a little red bar following that health, just to give it a little bit more of a sprucing up and change the variety of it. We would also here have a scripted event where a window would be shattered by a severed head flying through, rolling along the floor, but unfortunately due to development issues and miscommunication, we were unable to manage that. But anyway, we'll move through on. We move for the house. We've got this. You got the drawers here. Got the bit of more of the landing. We go downstairs, and it's the same again. And then the only real room that's open elsewhere is the living room. So as I said, this is also from Kieran's perspective as well, designing these assets like the sofa and the cushions as well, along with the table and the TV and the desk, to make it feel like you're at home. We've also then got some more mechanics. So essentially we've got the TV again, but what would happen here is the player would pick up the water pistol. This was meant to be like a tutorial weapon to kind of introduce them to that weapon system, and then as soon as they pick it up, a zombie would spawn from upstairs, follow us down here, and that allows us for the player to grab that. We know what we're doing now. We can shoot away the zombie, and we are ready to leave the game. So that is the main tutorial level of the game. Let's go into and see what we've got for the neighborhood. Okay, so here we have the neighborhood level. This was obviously going to be the main piece of the game. We initially designed a smaller neighborhood level that would add more into that survival round wave based system that we initially decided upon. However, we felt that it just didn't really match and provide the best gameplay experience for what we wanted to show off. So we pushed hard at it, but we managed to make a much bigger and a bit more linear level design that encapsulates a lot of these buildings. Obviously, as you can see, we've got some textured items here. This was done by Ellis, our brilliant artist for the environments. So what you can see here, as you can notice in those windows, we're moving about. This was meant to be scattered all around the map to give it some life into it, rather than these dull grey buildings. But you can see the work that Ellis has massively gone and put into it, creating those repeatable buildings, making it feel a little bit more modular, saving on those assets needing to be developed multiple times, and ultimately with these textures as well, using those trim sheets, really nice to see some life into the buildings. Obviously Logan's as well been at work with the level design, making sure that we have an experience that utilises the functionality of the gameplay, but also provides an enriching and matching the setting that we're going for in those early 60s. So we come up the ladder fire escape here. Then we come to our first mechanic. We've got the ladder, nice and simple there, straight up. And here we've got a bit of a better view of the destruction around us. Obviously, look at the building; it's all fallen apart. We've also got the nuclear waste there. You don't want to walk into that, so we'll fall on down. Here we can see one of the vending machines. So the idea behind this was that when the player interacts with these, they would gain a brief power up. But due to time constraints, we were unable to implement this. So this is simply just a nice little feature, but also you can kind of work out what the type of building could have been with this type of vending machine here. So we come out of the building. Obviously, we don't want to go for the nuclear waste. We can skip across it rather than going through there. So I'm going to do that very quickly. As you can see, we've just managed to get over that. Obviously, the nice flowing nuclear waste as well to match the water. So we'll come up the hill here. Obviously, more work showing that what Logan and us were able to achieve with the buildings. So we come through here, we've got the destroy factory part. As you can see just down there, there is another vending machine. We're not going to go to that, but that functions exactly the same. But we actually are going to go to it because it's our very own Gluco Luco. There it is. That's some of the things. Provboca, sorry, not Gluco. This obviously is one of the other power-ups that we designed. This was helped by Logan and Jack coming on this, with also Toby showing a bit of communication with it. This was also meant to be a randomised weapon area, so when the player would interact with this, they'd get a random weapon. So we'll come through back to this way. As you can see, we've got the point of interest to climb here, so we're going to be climbing up there. We can't go through that wall there, so we need to climb around, go up the fire escape again. And we're back up that fire escape, so we're getting a little bit higher now. If you're afraid of heights, you don't want to be up here. Climb up there. And obviously we need to get up to there, but I can't seem to get through that place. Let me try again. So we're coming up there. am I going to be allowed to get through? Oh no, flying bloody off. Okay. Just going to climb up through. Hopefully the game will let me. There we go. Get through. So obviously we need to get up there, but how are we going to get up there? We've got our push mechanic here. So when the player interacts with it, we're able to push there and get on up. And hopefully I can get on up now. There we go. But as you can see there, when the player overlaps a transform, they're able to push the block around and obviously get up to the platform that we needed. If it's at a slant, the player will not be able to interact with it because the floor below them is slanted. It's not going to work properly. If it's against the wall and the transform is at that position, it's not going to work as well because we're unable to push it. So the player needs to be careful with what they're doing, but also make sure that they can actually interact with it. So we would come down here, go run through this building, trying to make sure we know what we're doing. We get to the street there, as you can see, and this is where the final part of the game would really take place. As you can see there, we've got the first instance of the parasite that would be running around here. There's a nav mesh along the floor, and he's got a bunch of blueprint tasks. So essentially right now what he's doing is running from random point to point. If he was to see us, he would obviously come towards us, start attacking us and taking away that health, and then the player can obviously fight him away with the weapon system. So we pick up the weapon, give him a little fire, we've got the reload as well, so he can't have us. Obviously dynamic, so we take him down, and the player's able to drop the weapon as well if needed. Not in this case because the weapon system is not functioning the way we want it to. But there it is. That's pretty much the main menu level. Obviously, I think a lot of our time got focused on actually trying to perhaps overscope with the whole neighborhood level. But what you're actually seeing here was not the finished iteration for some of these mechanics, but it's just due to time constraints and other projects. This was all that we were able to get out. So yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed the level walkthrough for Deadmare. Please do leave any suggestions in the comments down below, or anyway, if you'd like to see any improvements be made, or if perhaps you'd like to see us continue on with this project following this period. But otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and hope you've enjoyed.